With the new people. Oh, okay, okay, oh, wow. Now, like, what did they have? Either a summer shellfish or like. I don't know. I am, that's what I would say.
All right. Yeah. From what I see, Amy told her the same thing that Amy basically said, well, I've never even heard of Just Cause. Amy from the county took over and has never heard of Just Cause, you know, prolonging the dead, no, no. So, but at least they gave her an answer, right? Oh. And she was upset because she said, wait a minute, they would give me an extension if I was. Yeah, well, that's what she was upset about.
Yeah, that's also.
Yeah, well, again, she and I had a long conversation, I called her, and I said, if we had to let go of. That we like, you know, that we, that and she finished. With her. She's not even. She said, we have not. Why weren't you scheduled with race? So that office is receiving angry phone calls from everybody.
Yeah, well, when they go to sell their house to be here. That's always my brother. Yeah, you gotta pay like $50 extra and.
Yeah, but the grandma and grandfather don't end up selling that house.
It's usually not them that are at it. They usually.
Have you met him? Let me tell you, I invite you to talk to Dave Grant about. But it's good that they got back with her and that she's actually received. So I think sometimes that's all you want.
And yeah, Amy's the.
Yeah. That really helps. Thank you.
And yeah, needs help next year.
That's right. Right. And well, I told her she has mine. So anytime that she's curious about, because she's dealing with stage 4 cancer right now. She's dealing with stage 4 cancer that came up out of nowhere. And I think she's just overwhelmed by all the different stuff. She had to leave her job. She had to, so. Anyways, we're good. We're good. Excellent. I signed all my certs.
The April 21st, 2025 meeting of the Environment and Public Works Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Bonnick. Ms. Bonnick is present. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman is present. Chairwoman Hugh Smith.
Here.
Chairwoman Hugh Smith is present. Mr. Mafucci. Mr. Mafucci is present. Ms. McIntyre. Ms. McIntyre is present. Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris is present. Mr. Sinclair. Mr. Sinclair is present.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
Yes, there is. First person is Terrence Schnurr. You will have 2 minutes in which to address the committee. Please do not bring up any signs or props. Do not single out any legislator individually, and please conclude when the buzzer sounds.
Recently, a resident of the state of Maryland who was under the protection of an immigration court order specifically directing that he could not be removed to El Salvador was, allegedly by mistake, removed to El Salvador. The current regime in Washington claims they can't correct that error because he's under the control of the Salvadoran government. The Salvadoran head of state claims that he cannot return him because our country will not take him. A revered conservative jurist appointed to the Fourth Circuit by Ronald Reagan and considered for the United States Supreme Court by George Herbert Walker Bush said last Thursday that this should be shocking not only to judges, but to America, but to the intuitive sense of liberty that Americans far removed from courthouses still hold dear. We should all care, because if that can happen, if what happened to Kilmar Abrego Garcia can happen to anyone in this country, it can happen to anyone in this country. It doesn't matter whether he's a good man, a bad man, or somewhere in between. If the government believes he should not be in this country, they should bring him back to this country and present their evidence to a court as to why he should not be here. And everyone in this room has an obligation to speak up in defense not just of him, but of ourselves, our friends, our relatives, and people we don't like. Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you. Is there anyone present who is not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the March 24th, 2025 minutes, of the Environment and Public Works Committee before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Madam Clerk.
25-0113, classification of action and determination of significance pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act for the state of county-owned tax foreclosure property located at 763 Howard Road, Rochester, New York, 14624 in the town of Gates.
Moved by Legislator Bonnet, seconded by Legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre.
Just a question, really briefly. Do we have any idea what they're going to do with this property? Sorry, through the chair. Do we have any idea what they're going to do with this property? Is there anything that we know about this?
Through the chair, this is the seeker referral, so we don't have real property here for this referral, but we can get that information and get back to you.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Anybody else? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
25-0115, classification of action and determination of significance pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act for the sale of county-owned tax foreclosure property located at Cedarhurst Drive, West Henrietta, New York, 14586 in the town of Henrietta.
Moved by Legislator Mafucci, seconded by Legislator Bonnet, just to mix things up. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next item.
25-0117, classification of action and determination of significance pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act for the sale of county-owned tax foreclosure property located at 3417 Atlantic Avenue, Penfield, New York, 14526 in the town of Penfield.
Legislator, moved by Legislator Bonnet, seconded by Legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Okay. Excuse me, 25-0119, classification of action and determination of significance pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act for the release, modification, restatement, and vacation of underground electric and water easements at 390 and 400 East Henrietta Road in the city of Rochester, and the modification of a utility tunnel easement at 400 and 422 East Henrietta Road in the city of Rochester.
Moved by legislator Bonick, seconded by legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
25-0120, authorize the release, modification, restatement, and vacation of underground electric and water easements at 390 and 400 East Henrietta Road in the city of Rochester, and the modification of a utility tunnel easement at 400 and 422 East Henrietta Road in the city of Rochester.
Moved by legislator Bonick, seconded by legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
25-0121, acceptance of a municipal waste reduction and recycling grant in aid from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation under the Municipal Waste Reduction and Recycling Capital Project State Assistance Program.
Moved by legislator Bonick, seconded by legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? There's Morris.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to the administration, I see it's noted in here that it took about 6 years for the grant to be awarded. Is there any other reason behind, why the delay for this?
Through the chair, it's entirely on the state. We applied for it a number of years ago, and it generally takes this long for them to process grants for capital reimbursement.
I yield.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
25-0122, acceptance of a municipal waste reduction and recycling grant in aid from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation for a municipal waste reduction and/or recycling project for public education.
Moved by legislator Bonick, seconded by legislator Mafucci. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
25-0123, acceptance of a grant from the Oswego County Soil and Water Conservation District for the Water Quality Program and authorize an intermunicipal agreement with the Monroe County Soil and Water Conservation District.
Moved by legislator Bonick, seconded by legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Legislator Bonick.
Through the chair, this is a program that the county has participated in for many years. Oswego County is the pass-through county that provides funding to 25 member counties, including Monroe County. So there is not an ability for the public to directly benefit for this grant, but there certainly is indirectly, and I'll explain. There is funding available for Watercraft Steward Program in partnership with the Soil and Water Conservation District. They'll have volunteers deployed and other staff deployed throughout the summer, inspecting boats coming in and out of local water bodies at locations like the Genesee River, Erie Canal, and Irondequoit Bay. There are stream bank erosion remediation projects. This is funding that will be provided to the Soil and Water Conservation District as well. It's a pass-through to the Soil and Water Conservation District. And they've a number of priority sites throughout the county, both either privately owned, publicly owned, where they're addressing stream bank erosion and shoreline stabilization. So they'll be working with the community that way. And they've got, like I said, they've got a number of projects. They've done work on Black Creek Park, Salmon Creek, Rondequoit Bay shoreline stabilization, Shipbuilders Creek, as well as Black Creek stream stabilization. Those are just some examples that the Soil and Water Conservation's undertaken. The county also provides through this grant funding to help offset our costs associated with the United States Geological Survey stream gauge monitoring program, which is very, very helpful to many local municipalities that may be impacted by floodwaters from local creeks. There are 14 gauges, and this provides accurate real-time information for towns and villages as well as the county during storm events. Lastly, there is funding available for the Monroe County Stormwater Coalition, again, led by Monroe County. There are 26 municipal members, towns and villages in Monroe County that participate, that are MS4 permit holders, and funding goes towards public education. So again, giving information to the public how they can better manage stormwater in their community and around their home.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
Twenty-five 130. Authorize the conveyance of a temporary environmental conservation easement to the town of Penfield on the property located at 1775 Kennedy Road, Penfield, New York.
Moved by legislator Bonnet, seconded by legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Okay, to the administration, could you define temporary?
To the chair, that is 40 years in length.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item. Oh. 0139. Oh. Okay. That's it? Here. Okay.
25 139. Amend the 2025 capital budget and bond resolution 429 of 2022 to provide an increase in funding for the project entitled City Place Electrical and Mechanical Improvements. Amend bond resolution 168 of 2022 to provide a decrease in funding for the project entitled Space Utilization and Renovation of City Place, and authorize contracts with Bell Mechanical Contractor, Inc. and Connor Haas, Inc. for the City Place Electrical and Mechanical Improvement Project.
Moved by legislator Bonnet, seconded by legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Legislator Sinclair.
Through you, Madam Chair, can you describe this project a little further? And do we really need to have a cooling system and standby power for that much of an investment on the one floor at City Place?
Through the chair, this location in City Place is really core to county operations. City Place serves, as you know, as a hub of county IS and fiber infrastructure. So it's critical that we have uninterrupted power supply, we have backup generator connection capability, and adequate cooling systems to maintain the county's computer system and network, which is central to City Place.
Is there no, through the chair, is there no cooling system for that room now and backup power already?
Through the chair, there is cooling there. It's equipment that was installed in '98 and it's at the end of its useful life. We can connect backup generators to that location. But the connections that we'll provide now will be much more expedient and safe for our operators and electricians to install generators.
Thank you. And through the chair, just to confirm, there's no additional net county support required for this project, correct?
Through the chair, as you know, we're decreasing capital funding one project and increasing the other so that we can accomplish this project. But it is entirely county supported.
Thank you. I yield.
Is there any other discussion? To the administration, what's powering the backup generators?
Through the chair, diesel fuel.
And to clarify, do we currently have backup generators?
Through the chair, yes, we have a pretty expansive fleet of backup generators for county facilities and Pure Water's operations.
Understood, but do we have backup generators at City Place?
To the chair, I understand it will be a mobile generator. We will pursue grant funding and other funding in the future for a fixed permanent generator, but for now we can capably respond to any power needs with a mobile backup generator.
So just to clarify, the expectation would be if there was not power at City Place, you would bring the diesel generators to City Place, run them in order to power City Place.
Through the chair, it would not power all of City Place, but it would power core operations within City Place. That is correct.
And we just hope that the water treatment plant doesn't need power at the same time.
Through the chair, if I may offer.
Please.
We would not be impacted. Again, we have a very broad fleet of expansive ranges of power capability. And as you may recall, we received a federal grant for 7.5 megawatts worth of generation capability up at Van Laer. That's necessary for City Place is one that we could capably deploy in the event of, wet weather event or other critical that we need to respond with backup power.
So would the improvements that you are requiring in this referral is not for the purchase of the diesel generator, but simply for other electrical infrastructure to enable connectivity to the diesel generator?
Through the chair, that is correct, as well as UPS systems, which are effectively battery systems, uninterrupted power supply systems that are critical to IS as well as the MRC and probation.
Okay, and do you have any expected, like how often have we needed backup generators in the past?
To the chair, we do deploy them before elections because obviously the computing resources are there within City Place, so they're always redeployed. We've never had to run them for an election. I can recall 2 events downtown where we've had a significant power outage where we had to deploy generators. We were able to do that in a responsive manner, keep operations going.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item carries. Next item.
25-0140, authorized contracts with Steve General Contractor, Inc., Bison Elevator Service, Inc., and Bell Mechanical Contractor, Inc. for the Monroe County Elevator Modernization Project.
Moved by Legislator Bonnet, seconded by Legislator Mafucci. Is there any discussion? Legislator McIntyre.
Through the chair. Are there any additional new elevators being added to any buildings or strictly replacing existing elevators? And I guess it would be good to know if they're just replacing or repairing the elevators and what the timeline of all of this is.
Through the chair, there are no new elevators as part of this replacement project, but the core elevator equipment and controls are all being replaced. So there are 10 locations identified. The timing is we've got 4 core buildings: Hall of Justice, Watts, 111 Westfall County Office Building, and that work will continue to the second quarter of 2027, so roughly 2 years.
And through the chair, it is to my understanding that we've had one of the elevators at City Place. It's been out for about 6 months now. At the Hall of Justice, I'm sorry. It's been out for about 6 months now. And I was wondering what the timeline would that be, through the chair, obviously.
Through the chair, yeah, we're obviously well aware of that. We do operate and maintain 91 elevators within the county. That elevator is on the list for replacement.
Yes, through the chair. What is the timeline on that?
Through the chair, I expect that timeline will be first quarter of 26. Yep.
Okay, thank you. I yield.
Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item carries. I believe that's our last. Yeah. Okay. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no other matters, the April 21st, 2025 meeting of the Environment and Public Works Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Environment and Public Works Committee will be held on Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 5:15 p.m.